Hey guys, hello, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. If you're not already subscribed, I would love to have you. My name is Kate, and I upload new videos every week-ish. So today I'm in a different spot, trying something different. I'm in front of my Christmas tree, as you can see. But as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be taking you through my top 10 books of 2022. So I'm technically in the middle of reading one right now. It's only the 29th, but I don't think it's going to be a favorite, so I figured it was safe to make this video. I also did a video last year where I ranked every single book that I read in 2021, but it didn't do super well, and I didn't have enough time to talk about the ones that really mattered. And yeah, so I figured this will be more fun. I am not doing these in a particular order, although I have three that really stand out to me. So I'm gonna save those three probably for last. Most of these I own. I think there's only two that were library books that I have not yet purchased. But let's just hop in. Okay, so again, the first 7 in no particular order. First favorite of the year is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Gillian Flynn. So if you don't know, Gillian Flynn is also the woman that wrote Gone Girl. Also Sharp Objects, which I think was in my top of 2021. And this was one of the first books I read this year, so it's been a minute, so I'm looking at the back I typically don't really like when people read the back of books to describe them. I don't know. Tell me if you feel the same way, but I feel like I like people's speaking voices and not as much their reading voices. I feel like reading just feels more like robotic or something. I don't know. But basically, this book is about, well, it's a show on HBO. Yeah. And it stars Amy Adams, and it's actually really good. I think I watched the show twice. It's just a limited series, and now I'm gonna want to rewatch it. But basically, it's about a woman whose entire family was murdered when she was a child, and she basically testified that her brother was the one that murdered him, and her brother's in jail. And basically, there's this secret group in her town that is obsessed with murder, and basically they get a hold of her, and she sort of works with them to pretty much figure out the real truth of the story. Gillian Flynn's writing is incredible. She's got 3 novels out, the ones I mentioned, and then she has a 4th, which is a novella, which was okay, but whenever she wants to put out a new novel, that would be great. But I just remember being really enthralled with this book. It's very dark, and it was just a good ending. I didn't really see it coming, and the show was great too. There's definitely some twists and turns, a lot of interesting sibling dynamics, mother-daughter dynamics, just very, I really liked it. I found the characters really like relatable but not dull. So Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Okay, next I have a book that I've been hearing about forever, and I finally read it this summer. It's The Secret History by Donna Tartt. The beginning of dark academia, or so I've heard. This is very much secret society vibes. Very, it takes place at a college in New England. It's a friend group that basically things just are pretty dark. It's just very dark. It's very character driven. It's very atmospheric. It's like 600 pages. I just remember loving it. Like, the plot was good, the characters were good, I felt very immersed. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a murder mystery, because it's not a mystery to the characters, it's just a mystery to the reader. Like, we know from the very beginning that something bad happened, but we have no idea how or exactly what. I just think this book is brilliant, and I just had a really good time reading it. So that's it. I just had a really good time reading it, and I recommend it if you haven't. Okay. Next, and this one surprised me so much, is Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine M. Valente. I love the way this cover feels, and I think it's beautiful. Look how teeny tiny. My little tabbies. It's so tiny. COMFORT me with apples. This is another one of those books where it's obviously very short. It's really like a novella. It's like slightly over 100 pages. I tore through it very quickly. This is another one of those books where the entire time you're like, literally what's going on? Literally what's going on? And I'm really into that lately. This is definitely like a cultish, dystopian kind of vibe, but you don't really understand what's going on until the very end. And it's like, once you know what's going on, you're like, what? It's crazy. It's very like, there's like a main woman, and she knows something's going on, but she's being gaslit by everybody else, pretending like there's nothing going on. It's definitely that kind of vibes, like Don't Worry Darling, but if Don't Worry Darling was good. Just kidding, it's nothing like that other than the trope I just described. But it's a quick read, it's super interesting. No clue what I expected, but it was not this. So definitely check it out. Okay. Next is The Secret Life of the Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. Look at all of this business. I obviously loved this book. This takes place in the 60s, in the South, and it's about a young girl, and her nanny, basically, who is black, and basically the girl's mother died when she was young. her father is an abusive alcoholic, and basically they get themselves into trouble and they have to sort of flee, and the girl, whose name is Lily, is basically on this quest to find out more about her mother and about the circumstances around which she died. And I don't like to read the back of these, like I said, but the last line of this one says, "This is a remarkable novel about divine female power, a story that women will share and pass on to their daughters for years to come." Yeah, this is very like women sticking together. This is a very like feminist, strong. I mean, this is just a women-driven story. It's very beautiful. It's so well written. Sue Monk Kidd is a genius. Everything that she writes is so atmospheric. So, I mean, just a study on how to write just incredible, strong women characters. This book will make you feel empowered. It will make you just think about the joys of sisterhood and of friendship and of being a woman. And if you're not a woman, I hope this makes you think about how freaking cool women are. And bees. I love bees, if you didn't know that about me. So, pretty cool. Women in beekeeping. Literally, what else do you want? Nothing. Okay. Oh, I wish I brought my water over here because I'm so thirsty. Also, my back hurts sitting on the floor, so it's gonna be really fun to get up when I finish this. Okay. Next, which I have talked about this in length in a prior video, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, plus it's all over the internet, so you are undoubtedly familiar. It's I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. A very raw, real, gritty memoir about Jeanette's childhood and her rise into stardom and her very tumultuous, abusive, difficult relationship with her mother and the rest of her family. If you haven't read this yet, trigger warnings, but go read this. You won't regret it. Okay. Next is Severance by Ling Ma. I've also talked about this book at length in one of my wrap-up videos from earlier this year, but it is a basically pandemic apocalypse kind of book about one woman who is experiencing the pandemic apocalypse in New York City. This was written pre-COVID. I think one of my top books from last year was Station 11, which is also a pandemic apocalyptic type of book. Very, very different in a lot of ways. I liked this one even better. It's more character focused, where you really get to be inside the head of the main character, and I just really devoured and enjoyed this book. And if it sounds interesting to you, I would definitely recommend picking it up. And then, okay, before I get to my top 3, one book that I don't have, which if I remember, I will insert a picture of it here, is The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth, which is a thriller. And it's basically, I read this one really early in the year, I want to say in like February, so I don't remember exactly, but I just remember the ending and the twist. But basically, it's about twin sisters, one of which, okay, you're probably like, how is this one of your favorite books and you can't even remember anything about it? I will tell you why I loved it. One of the sisters, they don't explicitly say it, but she's very clearly neurodivergent. It seems that she is autistic, and it is, for me, the first real representation of a neurodivergent main character told from her perspective that feels really true, and I just really loved that perspective. And you know, there's a couple of scenes where you get to be kind of inside her head when she's experiencing feeling overstimulated, and it felt very raw and real and very well done to me. Plus, the plot is great. The relationship between the sisters, and just you get kind of filled with a deep sense that something is wrong and that something is going on, and it just sort of starts to slowly unravel. But I would definitely check it out because I enjoyed it so much, and because I don't really remember like a ton of the nuances about it, and I'm gonna want to reread it. Now for my top 3, I'll do these in order, I guess, because my top 3 I have in order. So number 3 is Animal by Lisa Taddeo. Animal. I love this cover. I want to get this tattooed. And this looks like Saoirse Ronan to me. This is like one of my most recent reads. And it's basically about this woman who is literally a mess. Her life is chaos. She's basically went through some crazy childhood trauma. You don't find out exactly what happened to her until towards the end of the book, but she has flashbacks. We kind of see her just grappling with it and just being a woman in her 30s. Here we go. It says, Animal is a depiction of female rage at its rawest and a visceral exploration of the fallout from a male-dominated society. I have never related to a character and a voice so much. I just felt absolutely mesmerized. I really truly felt like I was inside of her head. Just the way that she describes small moments, or the way that she describes the intimacies of sex without it being like smut, or without it feeling awkward or unrealistic. It just felt... This book was an experience, and I stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning finishing it. And for those of you that know me in real life, that is absolutely bananas, because I am a sleepy girl. So I just loved this book so much. Please read this. I read a Lisa Taddeo book that I loved in 2020 or 2021. It was 3 Women, and I'm currently reading her short story collection, Ghost Lover. This is... No notes. Perfect. Okay. My second favorite book of 2022, I unfortunately don't own a copy of yet, but I will be rectifying that soon. Reminder to myself to put it on the screen. It is Funny Farm by Lori Zaleski. This is a nonfiction memoir, and Lori Zaleski essentially runs an animal farm / sanctuary where she has over 600 animals that she takes care of, with the help of plenty of others. And basically she takes you through her childhood and sort of how she came to be the way that she is. It's just, we get some beautiful family relationships, some trauma, some heartache, some difficulties, and at the end of every chapter she would put a picture of one of the animals on her farm, or one of the animals that she's had throughout her time being alive, and sort of like a little story about them. I cried at parts. I laughed out loud. This book felt like a warm hug. It felt like talking to a friend. It felt like a shoulder to cry on. This book made me feel all of the things. I was not expecting it. 10 out of 10, would recommend, will read again. So if you want to feel some feelings and you want to feel held, then please read Funny Farm. And last but not least, drumroll, my favorite book of 2022 is The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. 2 Sue Monk Kidds in the top 10, so I don't know what that says about her, but I love her. This is a fiction that is told from the perspective of Jesus's wife, who, again, it's fiction, regardless of whether you're religious or not. I am not, and I absolutely adored this book. I did not tab it, but I did write in it and highlight in it. But her name is Anna, Jesus' wife. It's told during the time, and you know, she's raised in Galilee, and it meets and encounters Jesus when he's 18, and it goes through that, you know, her childhood, them meeting, their marriage in Nazareth, stories of her just being a strong, badass, incredible woman. I'm sensing a theme of like womanhood in everything that I'm loving this year. So I don't know what that says about where I'm at in my life. But it's just really about her fierceness, and this struggle to be who she is despite the expectations placed upon her. You know, she is an intellectual, she's emotional, she has a lot to say, and she does all that she can to say it. This was such a beautiful story. It's told in literally the 1st century, but not one single second of it felt boring or outdated or old, yet it stayed so true to the historical depictions. From what I can tell, you can just tell it's meticulously researched. And I loved every second of this, and I can't wait to reread it. Please, please, please read The Book of Longings. I love this book so much. This, like, I read this and I remember being like, this is what I love to read. Like, this transported me. Please, please, please pick this up. So, I kept this pretty short and sweet, which, if you know me, it was tough. No, I'm actually just exhausted. It's like 1:30 in the morning, but I just wanted to film this before it was like January. So I've been slacking with filming lately, but I promise I'm trying to incorporate it back into my routine. I've just been going through some personal things. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below what your favorite read of 2022 was. I'd love to add it to my list for 2023. I hope that you're staying safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you guys next time.